Hello, BookTube. It's Tag Tuesday or Tag Wednesday for some loser people like me. And today, I've got a really fun tag for you today. This is the book First Date tag. This was created by Marlicia's Meanderings and Tahlia Nerds Out. Please watch the original video because they are so iconic together. One of the great BookTube duos. Love their chattiness so much. They're amazing. And there's a lovely amount of questions here, and I haven't really looked at them yet, but I thought I'd just do them on camera because they're so lovely. So, prompt one: what books do you regret buying? I regret a lot of my purchasing decisions of books. I like the first ones that obviously come to mind would be authors that I just fell out of love with. Like I brought a lot of Hemingway, I brought a lot of Faulkner because I thought, oh, I'll buy them, but until I read them. And those are the couple ones I think of, like the ones where you just see the author and buy it just off their name alone. But there's also some times that I've actually regretted buying pretty special editions of classics because I just don't use them at all. And I just get rid of them because I just rather have a normal ass paperback than have, four different pretty copies of Pride and Prejudice. But anyway, for it pretty much is I regret buying pretty editions of classics, or at least multiple editions. Question two: do you DNF with books? Why or why not? At what point do you DNF? If you do, how much time do you generally invest before DNFing? Until this month, really, I wasn't a DNFer. I did DNF two romances this month, and they're both westerns, and that has thrown me off a bit. But normally, I never DNF because I think I get so invested in reading, I just finish it no matter what. But normally, if I was to DNF, I'd probably give it halfway through the book, maybe, or maybe 100 pages. At least enough to get the sense of what the author's doing and what the book is about, really. But normally, I never DNF. And that's just me, to be honest. Three: is there a book that you do not want to come to an end or couldn't put down? Oh, that's a good question. I look around and I'm always like, what could I pick? Meg could have been War and Peace length, but I would have not cared. A Room of One's Own. That could have been literally the page count of Clarissa, and I would have not have cared at all. I would have sat there and kept reading. In terms of other stuff, what else would there be? Atlas Shrugged could have been longer, because why not? The Magic Mountain, I feel like really could have been a bit longer too. The Sparrow by Mary Doria Russell, Cervantes, Don Quixote, of course, I think could have been a bit longer, but that's being a bit cheeky. Question four: have you experienced withdrawal after finishing a specific book, not wanted to move on to other characters, or wanted to reread the book or sections of it again immediately after finishing it? I never really read books and I think, oh, I'm gonna take some time off to process this, or like I never read a great book and just don't pick. Like I always keep moving on. Really, I definitely fall more into the I just finished it and I immediately want to reread it. I felt that a lot when I reread Moby Dick last year. I was like, I could pick this up right again. Same as the Hannibal, like the novels by Thomas Harris. I reread them last year. I was like, I could start this all over again. What else really? I'm trying to look around. Again, The Sparrow by Mary Doria Russell. I could have reread that again. Gaskell to North and South, and Mary Barton. I could reread that. When I read them last year in September. I'm having a look around to see what other ones that made me do that. I feel like I'm always picking the same books over and over. But pretty much any Georgia Hare, if I'm being honest, she's so lovely, and I just feel like I could just live in her books forever because she's Georgia Hare and she's one of the greats. Question five: what keeps you invested in a book? Um, I don't know. I feel like it's everything really. Mostly depends on what the author's saying. I think if they're, I've always been like, what's the author trying to do here? Like I just feel like I see through the the novel or whatever to see what the author's doing behind the scenes. But mostly just I'm not much of a character person. I care about plot mostly. Um, and just prose writing style. I think it's mostly the writing that keeps me invested, if I'm being a bit honest. I love verse. I'm gripped by verse. I love Um, yeah, it's probably writing them out of everything. The more I think about it, it's definitely the author's writing. Six. What prompts you? Oh, sorry. What prompts you pick you? Oh my god, I can't read today. What prompts you to pick up a book? Cover, blurb on the back of the book, etc. Um, what prompts you to pick up a book? I think it's a mixture of things really. It depends if there's a booktube event, of course, I'll join in. If I'm on my own, if I'm just reading whatever, normally I'll have a stash of books by an author that I know I like. And my thing with if I find an author that I like, I normally just find all their books and just buy them as I go. And that normally determines what I read because I think I put a lot of trust in my favorite authors to be consistent, and I'm always a bit let down when they're kind of not. But mostly, what picks, I don't know. I think it's mostly the author's name. I don't really. I'm one of those people that will buy a book from an author no matter what, and yeah, even if it's, I literally go into books so I know nothing about it except I like the author. And that's the same thing with buying books. I know nothing, but I really trust the author, and I don't know why. And that's something I feel like I need to process. Question, what are we up to? Question 7. Do you keep finished books to reread, or do you unhaul them? Um, I love unhauling books. I just done an unhaul yesterday, of course. I love getting rid of books, but in saying that, I do still have a lot of books. But the main thing that keeps books, like the reason I still keep books, is if I still think about them. I think that's the big thing. If I think about them, I'll still keep them. That's pretty much my only rule for getting rid of books. Outside of that, anyone can go. I could decide tomorrow I'm getting rid of all of my medieval classics. They're going. Why not? I'm gonna restart and only have non-fiction. Or I could get rid of all my classics and just be a romance girly. Like, I'm so tempted to do that. There actually is a parallel universe where I never got into classics and I only read romance, and all of these shelves behind would have just been rainbow covered like mass markets of romances. And that universe is very close, but it's not this one. And I don't know, I kind of like to see what that would have been like. But anyway, um, normally keep them, but if I don't think about them or I think they're mid, they're going, and no one's safe from that. Question 8: Who or what do you trust most for book recommendations? Um, I trust Steve, of course. Josh, a lot of booktubers I trust who I follow. I'm pretty easy to recommend. I think I just go with the flow because I just read a lot in general. Yeah, but literally anyone, like anyone off the street could sell me on a book and I would pick it up and read it. I'm not that hard to convince to read, to be honest. Um, Bonus question 8.5. Would you ever pick up a book and read it without knowing anything about it, or controversially, let someone else choose the book for you, like a blind date? I love that one. Um, would you ever pick up a book that you read? Um, oh my god, I already forgot the question. Would you ever pick up a book and read it without knowing anything about it? Yes, I do that actually all the time. So I do that. And would I let someone else choose a book for me? Ooh, yes, because why not? Um, and yeah, that's the last main question. Question 9: tag people. This is a very, very fun tag. A lot of conversation here. Again, watch the original video. These ladies are so lovely and they deserve more attention, of course. And yeah, if you see this tag and you like the questions, please feel free to do it. And that is me doing the book first date tag. Thank you so much for watching BookTube, and I will see you next time.